Hello, ladies and gentlemen of SeemsGoodMagic.com. This is Travis Simulan Sowers, and we are jumping into a Shadows over Innistrad pre-release draft. These are Swiss, so we will get three rounds, one way or another. I'm also going to have to do some mental battle, because what I really want to do is make a deck where Crawling Sensation is amazing. I have a bet with my fiance that I can make that deck work. I really want to do it. This, however, is probably a pack where we do get to play with a fun card. Like we can take Startled Awake and see if we can build a deck where it does things. We could also more reasonably take something like Thalia's Lieutenant, Deadweight. If I was forcing the deck I want to make, there's probably not an actual pick for it here other than maybe Deadweight. The deck I want to make involves using Crawling Sensation to mill yourself out and then Epitaph Golem to recycle a card. So you can just cast one stupid card over and over and over. It doesn't even matter what it is. But yeah, I mean, we need to see if this card does a thing. That's how you learn, is by playing with Mythics. If you get to cast this twice, you probably win, right? It's a lot of mana, but if we can make a deck where this is a thing that kills somebody, sure, let's do it. It's an alternate win condition. I'm down. Alright, so here we've got Broken Concentration, which sucks. I don't want that. We've got a Sin Prodder, which is not bad. It could lead us into the blue-red spells deck. We've got Messenger, no. Plead for Answers, no. Gosh, there's not really anything here other than that, is there? Like, you take the Indulgent Aristocrat, but I don't think that really goes with our first pick. Not that we have to play Startled Awake, but could also consider the Ghoul Caller's Accomplice, as that probably goes in this. But, I mean, here's a rare that we can play with and try out. And the card looks good. It's not Dark Confidant. It's giving your opponent a choice, but you still get a draw step. Like, if your red deck wants a 3-mana 3-2, why not have this ability tacked on? Boggart Brute with upside, sure. Howlpack Wolf is reasonable too. But I mean, if you're going to take a red card, you take this one. And I don't think there's a blue card to take. But yeah, this early in the draft, we don't know what's open, so we'll kind of have to go with what's what. This one leads us to some interesting questions. One is, here's a Crawling Sensation. So I can just say, screw it, let's go for it. Because this is really what my heart desires. Is take this and start picking up Macabre Waltz. We'll find something to recycle. Like I said, it doesn't really matter what it is. We could also test out Fevered Visions. Like if we end up in an aggressive deck, this could do something. There's also Reduced to Ashes, which is probably the safe pick. This is a really tough one for me because I do want to make this deck work at some point. I think this could be the spider spawning deck of the format. Oh, this is so hard. I really want to play with Crawling Sensation. You know what? Screw it. We may be watching a terrible draft video where I just do something horrible and it doesn't go right. But if I've got a shot to make this work, I want to make it work. Alright, so we would be splashing, so Weirding Wood is interesting. This could be the thing that we recycle. Rancid Rats could keep us alive long enough to survive. God, we could do the Crawling Sensation Startled Awake deck. Like, this is even good if you mill it, right? Like, maybe we're not playing this, but there's not really anything here for the deck other than either the Apparatus or the Rats. It would have to be, I think, blue, green, black. And like I said, it would have some amount of splashing. So you would want the wood in that too. You know what? There's not a necessary piece here, so I'm actually going to take this. Again, I'm going way off the rails here. Don't try this at home, kids. All right, so Spiteful Motives is a real card. I think for what we're doing, we probably want the Byway Courier. Like, it's just a value creature, lets us draw cards. Again, it doesn't have to be blue. I just think that the card drawing and filtering is something that we'd be interested in. Yeah. This is bad, because the deck doesn't work if no one opens an Epitaph Golem. I think I'm going to keep trying this until it actually happens. I tried this in my first draft, which was on stream, and it didn't work. You know what was good in it, though, was the Moldgraph Scavengers. That's actually a relatively reasonable pick here because it blocks early, and like you're going to be doing stuff to enable delirium naturally. And by doing that, these guys can actually turn into a kill condition later. So this is like a reasonable backup plan. If I knew what our other color was going to be with certainty, I would take one of the vessels, but I don't at this point. I think we're probably not playing red. Past that removal spell pick 3, we haven't really seen any. And once you take the crawling sensation over that, like you've kind of just committed to being a nut. But I think we want anything that investigates. We want an epitaph golem. We probably need... God, there was a white spell we might splash that can get something out of your graveyard, because the problem is if you mill the golem, you've kind of killed yourself, which would be bad. I'm still not sure if we're playing the Startled Awake or not. I also don't particularly like how the preview pane interacts with double-faced cards, but I suppose if things to complain about, that is relatively low on the list. Well, see, this is the white card I was saying we might want. Not Forgotten. Now, there's also Dauntless Cathar, which is absurd and just a way to win a game, as well as Murderous Compulsion. This is an uncommon, so we're not likely to see it very much, and it does go in the stupid combo deck I'm trying to make. God, does that mean I'm just going to be black, white, green, mono Dirtles? I don't know if I can disable, like, turn off and assassinate for 2 mana. That seems great. Alright, if you're going to do it, Travis, go for it. Go for it. I'm going to do it. None of these cards are good for what I'm doing. God, I don't even think a Loam Dryad. This is not a playable card. I probably still want it. Alright, there's our Macabre Waltz. That is part of the combo. Reassembling Skeleton, or the Sanitarium Skeleton, might also go into it. I'm kind of scared of what's happening here. So there are no golems in the first pack. Again, the combo is to find... There's a vessel. Okay, I'll take that. That's good. We want the green one, as it looks like we're going to be base green. So we're going to grab that. The Not Forgotten and the Macabre Waltz are like backup plans if you accidentally mill your own golem with the crawling sensation. Ideally, we get 2 copies of this. We use these to get whatever we mill that we want back, and then the golem to just recycle something. And it doesn't matter what we recycle. It could be like an Alms of the Vein or anything. Like, I'll move this guy over here now. It's not entirely necessary at the moment. Rockcrown Ghoul can at least block. Shouldn't the Arsonist go faster than that? Like, they probably should, but like, we're going to want some number of these idiots. I don't want pieces of the puzzle, do I? No, we're not doing that. So I'll just take the playable card here. Like, it's realistic. What I should be doing is maybe doing something with the red. This is okay if we want to enable Delirium, at least block something. And again, if we pick up a couple more of these, enabling Delirium on them isn't absurd. I keep thinking, okay, we got the fork in the road. This makes our mana a little bit better. Helps with Delirium. I keep thinking there's some version of a spider spawning deck here, and it's either there or I'm just crazy and think it's there. One of those two things is true. But hell, we may as well have some fun with it, right? Ghostly Wings. Somebody took a land over that. Okay. Alright, so I've got 2 pieces of fixing, 1 bad piece of fixing. Like, ideally, we don't end up playing that. I don't even know why I took it. We've got 2 reset buttons if we accidentally mill the wrong thing. We've got a vessel to help us, again, mill and find the thing. Let's see, is there any piece of the puzzle here of what we're trying to put together? If there's not, we probably just take the Hydra as a alternate big dumb thing we can cast and win the game with. Like, the deck would probably honestly be more interested in a Crow of Dark Tidings or a Watcher in the Web, but I don't think you pass on the random Titan. Like, this gives us an oops, I accidentally won card that we can throw in the deck. We could also consider Silver Strike, but I don't mind having one big thing in there, especially if we've got a little bit of ramp. There's the Golem! Do Do you take the Golem over the Kindly Stranger? You don't. I mean, I understand that you don't. I understand rationally that that's not what you do. But this gives us the entire puzzle. So again, you mill your entire deck out with Crawling Sensation and just as much Dirtle as you possibly can. And then you use this to recycle whatever card you want. It doesn't even matter what you're doing. As long as your opponent can't kill you, you can win. But like, Kindly Stranger is a better card. I should be able to wheel this because no one else would want it. But if I'm going to make the deck, I have to take it here. This is so good. We're playing black-green. We're enabling Delirium. I can't not take it, though. That's the whole point of what we're doing here. Yeah, all right, fine. Now I just want more defensive cards and something I can recycle to destroy my opponent with. Stoic Builder is something I'd be interested in, but I think at this point we're just going to go ahead and go with the Ghoul Caller's Apprentice. It gives us value if we mill it. So we're just going to be black-green, mill ourselves out, and then I need like an Alms of the Vein to recycle. I could even recycle Shamble back and like mill most of their graveyard. All right, we're in. These are the cards I wanted. So I've got Golem, Sensation, Not Forgotten, Macabre Waltz. So here's combo pieces, and here's kind of filler / enablers. I guess this is sort of like an enabler too. This guy's certainly filler. To die failing to serve a loved one is just so sad, or more to the point, pathetic. Thank you for that, Liliana. You are truly evil. I want more couriers. I want more things that when we mill them, we get... Oh, yeah! What's the correct pick here, ladies and gentlemen? It's definitely Throttle. Maybe Rabid Bite. But what am I taking? Alms of the Vein. Why am I taking it? Because once we get to the point where we can recycle a card, this is the card I want to recycle. I have either just built the spider spawning deck or made a colossal fool of myself in front of everybody, but we will know after this if this works. Those of you who watched the set review know how excited I am right now because this is exactly what I want to happen. I want to do these things. Now, if we're going to play any amount of white mana, it's somewhat reasonable to try to get the Dauntless Cathar in there. I don't have great fixing, but I'm going to play a Plains. I'm going to play the Vessel. I think we're mainly black, but I mean, we're mostly green splash black, so why not just throw this in here? I'm going to need some random dudes. This is certainly a random dude. So, sure. Oh my god, Seasons Past. There you go. You mill the whole deck, you get this back. Of course, I'm going to die without it, so I should probably take something like Puncturing Light, maybe even Warped Landscape. This would have been a better pack to take the Alms of the Vein out of, because I did want one, but that's exactly how many I wanted. Like, you've got to have some number of dudes to play early. I was thinking we'd get some more Moldgraph Scavengers. I don't hate the Logger. I don't even hate the Revenant. The Revenant may be good for us. It's a good blocker. It can attack in and get some damage through. I'm not sure how much white I want to play. Seasons Past would be good for this deck. And Puncturing Light would be fine, but I'm going to take this guy. I think here I like another one of these. Let's just make as many dudes that we get value if we mill them and value if we don't. Tooth Collector seems good. We're going to have Delirium most of the time. I think I'd actually play Open the Armory. Maybe not, because I'm only looking for the Crawling Sensation. If I had two, I would. But Tooth Collector seems actively good. So let's grab that. Watcher in the Web is kind of exactly what I want. It's going to sit here and keep me from dying while I mill through my entire deck for profit. I can't believe I put this together. It's exactly what I wanted to do. I want like 3 more of these and another Crawling Sensation, and hell, another Golem for insurance would be great. But this is my dream. Mill my deck out, cast Alms of the Vein, and then cast it every turn until they die. Oh god, it's going to be so good. Alright, let's get more web watching. Mana's going to be awful just like it should be. Yeah. So how am I actually enabling Delirium? I guess this kind of does it by itself, doesn't it? It's just going to mill through. We've got lands, we've got sorceries. We don't actually have any instants or any removal. I should probably have valued removal a little higher than I did. Yeah, I should take an instant when I get the chance to. Stoic Builder's probably okay. It blocks. I mean, we're playing for a stupid long game, so something like this and exiling one of their cards is okay, but like, we're going to mill some lands. Why not get them back? Skeleton can let us dirtle forever. Yeah. Alright, get in there. None of this really does anything. I'll just tack the equipment. Root out for the sideboard. Like, this deck looks perfect. Perfectly reasonable. I know that something like this will work. The question is the format one in which I can stay alive long enough to pull it off? And we've got 3 matches to find out. Autumnal Gloom, that probably goes right in this deck. Again, the Rancid Rats would be good. Fiery Temper's good, clearly. But this gives us a way to even turbo mill faster. And again, with the Not Forgotten, it's okay to mill a combo piece and then get it back. I really do need to pick up an instant. I would probably like another Revenant too, but I'm just going to take Autumnal Gloom here. I'd really like to see another Crawling Sensation. We have 2. We have 2 Crawling Sensations. If this deck can work, we are doing it here. So Descend Upon the Sinful, we don't really want that. Alright, alright. Can this happen? Oh gods, can it happen? It could happen. Okay, so we've got creatures, enchantments, sorceries, and lands going to the graveyard. So we can reasonably get Delirium going. There's not really enough sorceries. Yeah, I need a couple more spells if I want Delirium active. I don't really care about Delirium, though. Like, I'm talking about getting it enabled, but enabled for what? If this was just an enchantment that said you can mill yourself, I would play it. Because it gives us more chances to get insects during their turn. Oh, yeah. And I guess Tooth Collector is worth enabling it for. I was worried about flyers, but these Watchers in the Web make me feel like I can probably survive most flyer decks. I'm so excited. I know somewhere there was a viewer that saw this card and were like, I want to do that. Because that's exactly what I saw when we were doing the set review. And then when Kelsey was like, I bet you a steak dinner you can't pull that off. It's like, oh yeah, I can. We are going to do that. All right, so at this point, we're probably just looking to replace bad cards or find card draw. And none of this is actually that. The Sinister Concoction is not a bad way to kill something. / enable Delirium for your Tooth Collector. And I think it's probably reasonable, but I don't really know what I'd want to cut for it. Like, obviously, the Rotten Heart Ghoul is the worst card in the deck, right? Well, unless you consider all of the combo Rotten, which at this point maybe you do. But this is the best card. I don't know what we do with it. Prized Amalgam is interesting, but I'm not splashing blue for it. Crow of Dark Tidings does do what we want done. I think the Hermit does too. It kind of just prevents our opponent from casting spells on our turn, whereas this guy can... I mean, I'm thinking he might be good against all the spirits, but he's actually not, because they're just going to kill him. It mills us, which is great, but with Double Crawling Sensation and the Gloom, I probably don't need to go too much more crazy on that. What I might want is just an aim high, because I am scared of flyers. Yeah, this is something I probably want access to. Again, Herman seems fine, and turning into a 3/5 is not unreasonable. It would be pretty easy for us to flip him. And it is going to keep our opponents from casting spells, but I think I want access to an aim high in my deck and or sideboard. Solitary Hunter looks like just a good card. These are not colors we're splashing, which is a shame, because if there was a duel for any of the colors we were splashing, I would certainly take it. But Solitary Hunter is just a good dude. Like if our deck wanted the Rotten Heart Ghoul as a 2/4, why not just play a 3/4 that can get bigger? So let's move you over and get an actual thing. This I don't quite understand, because that's one of the best cards in the set, I think. Diregraph Colossus is interesting, but we're not actually playing any zombies. I mean, we can make zombies from that and make it a little bigger, but it's kind of a lot of 3-mana 2/2, which this guy is 2, and we don't even want the equipment. Like, it's neat if we mill it to get an artifact in there, but I was hoping I'd see another golem, but I haven't. I don't think we have too much room for things like Thornhide Wolves in the deck, which means I'm really not going to play any of these cards, so I can just hack a Scholar. Traverse the Uvenwald. What do you do? Ah, okay, so if I get it early, it fixes my mana. And if I get it late, it goes and finds me the Epitaph Golem. That's interesting, but I probably should just take another Solitary Hunter. Like, if you look at our actual curve and where we're casting them, like, it would be pretty easy to cut this Dauntless Cathar. I still think I need the Not Forgotten and the Macabre Waltz, just in case I mill this. But the Solitary Hunter is probably better than something in here. I'm not sure what yet, but we'll figure it out. Oh god, 3 copies? I can mill my deck out so fast. I'm doing it. It's not happening. Alright, rats. Sound good. I would probably want the other Revenant, but we've got one of those already, and we're a little short on 2s. So sure, let's do it. Another Bob Manley. I mean, this is sort of a payoff for hitting Delirium, and we don't really have a lot of 4s. I don't think I'm going to play it. But I'll take it. We don't need another Bob Manley. Combo assembled. Alright, Stromkirk. None of these cards really do anything, do they? Not really. I mean, Tormenting Voice is cute, but not interested. We could maybe play a Groundskeeper, but I don't actually think I want it. I might side it in against some people. Confront the Unknown? Not really, but sure. Okay. I am stupid happy. This is, since I did the set review for Shadows over Innistrad, this is exactly what I wanted to do, was build this deck. Because I don't know if it's a deck yet, but we get to find out today. And these are, I have all of the cards I wanted to do it, including 3 copies of the main card I wanted to do it. So like, you've got to be careful about, remember, this is a May, so you can choose to do it or not. And you got to be careful about what to do, because it's okay to mill everything except for the Golem. You have to get the Golem. Once you've milled the Golem, you have to stop until you draw either Not Forgotten or the Macabre Waltz. Once you get those, mill the rest of that crap out, and then just recycle Alms of the Vein every turn until they're dead. So good. Alright, so we're going to group creatures separately. These are my combo pieces. I can't mess with those. So this is here. Like, these are all the things that I have to have. I think this is fine, although I don't really need more milling. It certainly can't hurt. It also lets me mill on their turn and make more insects, which has got to be good. I think 1 Bob Manley is good, because we're going to mill some lands, and it also gives us a little protection in case we mill our plains. I like the Weirding Wood to fix our mana, but I've got to cut 4 cards from this. Aim High is probably one of them, and we bring that in if we need it. I don't need a lot of dudes, but I like all of these dudes. So it's probably got to be some of this stuff. Alright, what would happen if I don't think I can cut one of the crawling since... Well, if I have 2, I'm still probably going to draw one every game, but I want to hit it early and start turbo milling. This is my only piece of removal, so I can't cut that. I guess I could consider cutting the white splash, but I'm scared with Macabre Waltz being my only way to get back the Epitaph Golem that I might mill it and then I can't win. So maybe it's just cut the Gloom. I don't really want to ramp. I can just play 2 planes in this. Like, I have to hit green early. Everything else is fine without it. So I could cut that and then maybe cut the Vessel. That seems weird. I could cut a dude. We've got a lot of dudes. Like, are any of these just not particularly good? The Solitary Hunter's the one that doesn't fit the game plan. Or you know what? Even the Mythic. You know what? I don't want to win by killing somebody with this. I want to win by recycling Arms of the Vein over and over. That's exactly what I want to do here. For those of you still watching, thank you for believing. We can do this. So I need 2 planes because I don't want to mill them. That's really low on the swamps. Like, Bob makes sure that if I mill one, I can get it back, but I have to hit A planes to have access to that Not Forgotten. I've really got to fit this this Weirding Wood in here. So let's take that and cut one of the Solitary Hunters. Everybody else can block just fine. Like, that's all I want to do is just block, turbo mill, and then kill you. In the worst possible way. Oh, it's going to be so good. There is some great action happening here. I can't believe I put it together. All right, we are going to find out right now if this is a real deck or not. Thanks for tuning in, folks. We'll see you for round 1 in just a minute.